What's going on YouTube? It's Shot Callers Podcast, back here with another video. Today, I'm here to talk about Anfernee Simons and how the Trailblazers organization might not be as stuck as we might have thought. And if you're not aware, when Damian Lillard went out, Anfernee Simons was the clear-cut guy due to the collapsed lung that CJ McCollum had also received. So at this point, we understood that the Blazers season is basically over at this point. But it is nice to see that they could possibly be moving in the right direction if they so choose to either trade Dame or CJ, or both for that matter, and finally start the rebuild process that we've been basically wanting to see for the past 3 to 4 years now. And they have a lot of trade pieces as well, which doesn't get talked about enough. But then again, it's basically, do we trust the Trailblazers to truly start that process, which we've been saying for the longest time and we haven't seen. So I'm here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about Anfernee Simons as well, and basically he's that dude. It's time to give him the keys to the offense and start a rebuild. And then what my thoughts are on Chauncey Billups. So if you enjoy this type of video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you never miss a beat. If it's your first time being on the channel, hi, my name's KJ. Shot Callers Podcast. We do daily NBA videos. Try to upload twice a day and just give you guys full NBA content. Stay tuned for notifications on the podcast. Like I said, we're going to be starting that up in the spring/summer with my friend Dylan, where we just talk about NFL, NBA, and fantasy football. It's going to be a separate channel, so just stay tuned for that. The links will be in the description for TikToks on that podcast. Without further ado, though, let's get started. So first up, what we're going to be discussing is Anfernee Simons and his game. And he honestly reminds me and a lot of other people a little bit like Damian Lillard. He's this kind of three-level scorer who can, I believe, really isn't that great at finishing compared to Damian Lillard. Or, it's difficult to be compared to Damian Lillard, of course. But I think his finishing ability is worse, but the shooting is there. He has a pull-up three ball. He has a step-back three. He can pull it from anywhere on the court, which doesn't get talked about enough. He has a good mid-range. And he's averaging about 15 points and 3.5 assists this season. But ever since Lillard went out, he's been averaging over 20 points a game on solid efficiency. Now, he still is young, which also people really forget. He came into the league at a very young age. He came in as IMG Academy post-grad. He did not go to college, if you're not aware. And so he's had a lot of years to develop off the bench. And I remember his first 2 years, he really didn't get much playing time, but we saw these flashes of, okay, this kid can really be something. And I'm praying to God that the Blazers don't mess this up and just let him stay in Portland. Extend this man's contract. Do not screw this up, Portland. You guys need to rebuild. You literally have a free centerpiece to build around for the future. I'm not sure now if I would like him as my number one option, but if you were to ask me in a few years that Anfernee Simons can't be a number two or at least a number three option, I would say you're crazy. I think he has that potential. Maybe I'm being a little recency biased, but I saw it. I saw the potential. And being under Damian Lillard's wing for so long, it's bound to happen. Now, I'm also going to talk about Chauncey Billups, which is a lot of people are very mixed on how they feel about Chauncey Billups. And I'm sort of in that boat, so I'm in the middle. I'm not really sure how I feel about him. I'm a rookie head coach who really hasn't proven much. Defensively, they have been atrocious, but when have they really been really that great defensively in the CJ Damian Lillard era, if you really think about it? So I'm really curious to see that. But one thing that you should keep note of is with a rookie head coach comes some sort of rebuilding process or dismantle process. And that's what I'm curious to see, because I believe they brought him in for a new kind of voice, someone that can galvanize the locker room, because at the end of the day, having having someone just be your leader for so long and getting nowhere basically outside of the Western Conference that 1 year when they faced Denver, it can get a little antsy. And so they needed a switch, and they did that. Now, CJ McCollum is back, and so I do believe that Simons' ball handling responsibilities will be reduced, as it should. But at the end of the day, a 1-2 punch between him and McCollum while Lillard is out is more than suffice for the time being. And like we said, we're not expecting Portland to go anywhere outside of maybe at best the 10 seed, make the play-in tournament. But honestly, if I were them, I would look to just rebuild. And let's see. We have trade pieces like Larry Nance Jr., Norman Powell, Yusuf Nurkic if you want to, and Robert Covington. And so it's interesting to see, because we've seen this decline from Robert Covington as his 3-and-D player, and he's very the standard of 3-and-D role players. He's the absolute standard. And that's what I really like about Robert Covington. But at the end of the day, he has been falling off a little bit this season due to age or for whatever reason. Larry Nance Jr. is still a solid piece. I just don't really love his fit in Portland. And I also believe that they haven't used him enough, to be completely honest. We saw what he did with Cleveland when given the role as like a small ball 5, this 4 that can really do a lot of things. An amazing offensive rebounder. Norman Powell, who's just like a really good punch. I believe he's better suited as a 6th man off the bench, just because he reminds me of like a Jordan Clarkson who probably could be a little bit more consistent and maybe a little bit better on the defensive end. But he gives me better 6-man vibes rather than as a starting small forward, which he's playing right now for the Blazers. Maybe Powell as a shooting guard would be better, but I just feel like as an undersized small forward, with the fact that you're playing next to Simon/Lillard, if you want to throw that in, and CJ McCollum, I don't like that defensive lineup, and we've clearly seen it this season. And then, like I said, Nurkic, like I said earlier, a nice, really rebounding player who can finish inside, who's actually shown the 3-ball capability. He's expanded his game. You don't want him shooting threes, but he's shown that he's capable of doing it. Now, there is one player that I'm very curious on, and you guys can leave your ideas in the comment section. Nazir Little. So he's shown flashes this year, and I remember at the beginning of the year, I remember watching this guy, and I was like, I'm not liking his game, and it's because he fits this like, I want to be a 3-and-D player, but I also want to try and get that contract. I don't know what he was doing at the beginning of the year, but it's definitely turned around. I'm not saying Nazir Little's been that great this season anyways, but he's shown flashes to where I think they can re-sign him, maybe to a 1 to 2 year deal, maybe just off that rookie contract, because it's going to be ending pretty soon. So we're here to see that. Now, Chauncey Billups, what should they do? Chauncey Billups is not the issue. He's not the main issue, but he needs to improve on the defensive capabilities. And like I said, it's going to come with trading away players and building the right team if they want to improve their defense. Because as of right now, we can all agree that they really don't have the defenders that they should, especially in the West. And so I think people need to take a break on Chauncey Billups. Like I said, he's a rookie head coach without his star player. Give him some time. Let's see what he can really do. Let's not just throw him under the bus quite yet. And I'm not saying anyone's going for his job right now or saying that he should be fired, but I've heard a lot of things about Billups saying he might not be the guy. The Blazers aren't good with... No. Give him a chance. Let him see what he can do. Let's see what type of team he can build, and we'll move from there. And basically, at the end of the day, like I said, this video is more revolved around Anfernee Simons. I think he's that dude. I think you move in the right direction, and in my opinion, you trade Damian Lillard. I think you can hold on to CJ for now because, like I said, I think those two create a 1-2 punch that's good, but you need to go after the correct role players if you keep CJ. If not, go in full rebuild mode. Trade CJ, trade Dame, trade Nurkic. Basically, go in the same direction the Oklahoma City Thunder did. And I know it's not ideal. I know it's not sexy. I know it's not beautiful. But we see the current situation that the Thunder are in right now. They have their centerpiece in SGA. They just drafted Josh Giddey, who's shown really good potential as a secondary option and a solid scorer, even though it's been inefficient. We see what the Thunder's potential can be for the future. Why not do exactly what they did? You have the assets. You have the players. Go make it happen. And so that's what I'm curious to see. I want you guys to leave your comments in the section below. What direction should the Blazers head into? If you think they should keep CJ, Dame, trade them both, let me know. But basically, at the end of the day, I do believe that Anfernee Simons is that dude. I mean, I'm very excited to see his potential. I love his scoring ability. I love his tenacity. I love the little bit of leadership I've seen from him, surprisingly, which I didn't expect as much. I like seeing that Chauncey Billups has embraced Simons and given him that opportunity to really express his offensive capabilities. And that's something that we've been waiting to see if he could truly do that at a consistent level. And we've really just been able to see it on this run. So with that said, that'll conclude today's video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you never miss a beat. And with that said, Shot Callers out.